Hello everyone and welcome to my video Let's Play Prophecy of Pendor. My name is Zycox and I've decided to do this video just for the lulz of it. Okay. So I will be doing this video whether people will be watching or not, so don't worry about me ever stopping this series. I'm not aiming to do a professional channel or something like that, and I doubt that a lot of people will be watching since I do not have like a sexy voice like the Reformist or some other nice people, and I'm certainly not Angry Joe either. So without further ado, I love Prophecy of Pendor. It's an excellent mod. I think that the nice things about Prophecy of Pendor are not easily noticed because well, certainly it has a very unique visual style, but I think in game what really stands out is will only become apparent if you play for a while. And Prophecy of Pendor is really well balanced, especially the faction troops, and you will find yourself experimenting for the most effective troop compositions, and you will find that there will be quite a big difference. Prophecy of Pendor also features a special AI, an overworked AI called Wiki's AI, and it's an overhaul of the basic native AI, and well, not perfect. It will certainly can surprisingly provide challenges for you when you believe you will have an easy battle. Prophecy of Pendor is generally a very hard mod, and it is only recommended for veteran players who are more familiar with the intricate mechanics of the base game. So there are already a lot of videos around Prophecy of Pendor, so I will not be talking too much. Okay, I already talked a lot. Okay, so this will be an Iron Man Berserker playthrough. You will see me playing on max difficulty and battle size 150. I will not have the highest graphical settings on. I apologize for that. I just don't have a better computer. So, but this should be working out fine. Okay, let's start. I will be role-playing a Berserker, and well, my regards to Noozers and Iskar, who have always been around in Prophecy of Pendor and who have usually been very nice to comment sometimes on my posts in the forums. And you will owe it to those two, because those two actually suggested to do a Iron Man playthrough on maximum difficulty and no armor. Right, and no bow or crossbow either, so I will be sticking to those rules. And right, and I will be using no horse. So let's see how well that goes. It's been a while since I've last played Prophecy of Pendor, so I've been a little bit pampered by playing Light and Darkness recently, but let's see how this goes. So, welcome adventurer to Mountain Blade Warband Prophecy of Pendor. Right. You were born years ago in the land of Barclay, far to the west and south of Pendor. You never knew your mother, who died when you were young. Your father was a mysterious figure who told you nothing of his past. Growing up in the poor section of Barclay's waterfront district, you received very little formal education. Your father taught you from a young age how to defend yourself and how to spot and avoid danger. When you were a bit older, he taught you about herbs, poisons and antidotes, and how to keep someone alive when they were wounded. He never stopped in to offer you protection from the local bullies, but insisted that you fight your own battles. He would often leave for extended periods of time, offering no explanation of where he was going or saying when he would return. You raised yourself and sometimes had to resort to petty theft just to survive. Still, These difficult years made you streetwise, sharp to the secrets of cities and their shadowy back alleyways. In your youth you had very little idle time, as your father left you to fend for yourself. As a boy barely emerged from childhood, you lived on the streets, doing whatever you had to just to survive. You begged, stole, and worked for gangs to earn your bread, living only from day to day in a violent world, frequently only one step ahead of the law and others who wished you ill. Then, after what seemed an eternity, your life changed. You were given the opportunity to become an engineer and builder. Though the distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way you had become a man, and the whole world seemed to change around you. You met an engineer and builder who took you in as an apprentice, and you pursued the career as the apprentice, crafting plans for homes and castles and towns. And as time wore on, you became a master of your trade, and your work started to bring you high prices, much to the satisfaction and pride of your master. With food on your table and logs on your fire, you could take pride in your work and your growing reputation. You felt that you had become someone. But, as the fates would have it, everything in the world changed suddenly. You had no choice but to leave the lands of Barclay and strike out for Pendor, because one day you found your master had been murdered in cold blood. Only you seemed to care about what happened to him. Still, your choice to leave was not difficult, with rage burning so brightly in your heart. You pursued the traces of the murderer and finally found a trace leading back to Pendor. You want vengeance, you want justice. You know that what was done to you cannot be undone, but you demand repayment for those wrongs in blood. So you become an adventurer and sail to the shores of Pendor. And there you have a dream on the ship.
Thank you, champion, for heeding my call and returning to Pendor. More than ever, we desperately need your aid. Pendor has fractured into factions yet again, just as we need union most desperately. New enemies have invaded us, and old ones have returned in force. We are poised to seek out the evil goddess Azedahaka and destroy her once and for all. On behalf of the people of Pendor, will you once again take up the sword?
And as you awake from the intense dream, the goddess Astraea had appeared before you. You still cannot believe it. This quest had just begun as a quest for personal vengeance, but maybe there's more to this than you had thought. And just before you had entered the ship, your childhood friend had appeared and gave you the information that you had been looking for. Your father, whom you had not met for a few years, has apparently passed away, and your childhood friend had found out that he was once a fierce vine berserker. And you never really bore any love for your father, but you were thankful for his teachings that kept you alive, and that still proved useful even as you had apprenticed as an engineer. So in order to honor his death, you decided to become a fierce vine berserker yourself, and swore the oath of never wearing an armor or riding a horse. So here I am, Zycox. How do I look? Let's go with... Oh, that looks funky. Yeah, why not? By the grace of the divine, you arrive in Pendor, a land plagued by constant strife for over 150 years. You have accepted a daunting challenge to stave off the influence of evil Reunite the warring factions of the old kingdom and fulfill the prophecy of Pendor, as foretold by the mad wanderer Madigan. These are dangerous lands, where many powers, great and small, vie against one another for supremacy. Here you will find honor and nobility, but also deceit and skullduggery. There will be valorous knights and black-hearted assassins. You will leave your past behind to start a new life. If you succeed, you will fulfill another destiny, creating a new possibility in the infinite dimensions of reality. Your choices may create a new thread in the weave for the oracle to choose, and offer the possibility that your actions may save us all. Drawn by the stories you hear about Pendor and its kingdoms, you arrive in Yaviksholm in the Fierce Vine. You took passage on a Barclay merchant ship heavily loaded with trade goods to be sold to wealthy Fierce Vine merchants and distributed by caravans throughout Pendor. It was not a favorable season for sailing. The ship struggled through storms and heavy seas. Twice your captain outsailed marauding Venskari raider longships bound from their frozen lairs to ravage the Fierce Vine coasts. The captain explained that the Fierce Vine was home to the Venskari's distant kinsmen, the Fierce Vine lords, who only a few generations before had carved themselves a kingdom in this rich but troubled land. Exhausted by the time you find the inn in Yaviksholm and fall asleep quickly, awake before the dawn and eager to explore your surroundings, you venture out onto the streets, which are still deserted in the early morn. Suddenly, the rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard makes the hairs of your neck stand on end. You're instantly on the alert for trouble. Right. Hey, no crossbow here. I can't unequip my armor, unfortunately, but this will be done as soon as I can, as soon as I finish off this bastard. Pih. Die! Die! Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive at any rate. I'm not sure that we can say the same for the other fellow. And that's one less thief to trouble our streets at night, although heaven knows he won't be the last. Anyway, maybe you can help me with something. Let's talk more inside. Out here we don't know who's listening. The merchant takes you to his house, and once inside he stands by the door for a while checking the streets. Then, finally convinced you have not been followed, begins to speak. I can keep the boots, I guess. Please, allow me to explain my proposition. These bloody Venskari raiders are growing bolder with every passing day. They take every person they come across as skulls and send them back to their iceberg of a country in chains. The watch commander says they look too much like everyone else in the Fierce Vine, so when they enter the city they could be any citizen. Anyway, Venskaris have kidnapped my son. My son has a bad habit of frequenting the taverns and associating with people he should not. He also drinks too much. I fear he was waylaid by some Venskari raiders as he stumbled home too drunk to defend himself or raise an alarm. I make no excuses for his behavior. He's an idiot. But he's my own blood after all. If I can't protect my kin, people will start thinking that I can't protect my investments either. And I can't have that. I'm also fond of the young blighter, to be honest. He's my only son and I love him despite his foolish ways. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with a blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of a fire in your belly, or you wouldn't be coming to Pendor to seek your fortune. So this is what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small but strong party, track down these Venskaris to their lair, and return my son to me in good health. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. What say you? I'm sorry, but I have more important business to attend. I'm still here to look for the murderer of my master. For the murderer of my engineering master. So here I am, out for personal vengeance and near Yaviksholm. So this is the coast. This is the sea where I have arrived from. And of course I'm not on a horse. And welcome to Prophecy of Pendor. So very nice. So here we start, and there's a lot of things we can start trading, just things we don't need. Right. And as we go on, let's go into the tavern. Oh, look! There's Anson, but let's talk to him later. Is there anything else? Buddhist and Corvan. Okay. Okay, for now let's... this video has gone on for a while, so I will be stopping soon. To be honest, I have no idea yet what to do. Oh my gosh, I'm rather slow, am I? And am I not? 7.5, and I'm... How fast am I on horse? A2, which is actually faster, but okay. I swore not to use any horse, so for role-playing purposes, let's be true to that. I will be 7.5, so I need to be really careful. I have no idea how to start now. Like I also said, it's been a while since I last played Prophecy of Pendor. So, yeah. So the first thing to do, I guess, is maybe look for some companions we can get. Actually, maybe I should be... I should be looking for some quests, for some things to do. So, yeah. Okay, so thank you for watching. I will end this video and see you next time. Goodbye.